everyone. I'm Melissa McAllister, and you're listening to the Melissa M.A.D.E Show. Now, for decades, I've dedicated myself to helping women break the cycle of dieting, navigate through all the fads, and change their lives through my nutrition coaching. Now, each week, I'm going to talk about everything from deep nutrition, mindset, self-care, the ideal workout routine, tips on how and why to implement intermittent fasting in your life, my favorite recipes that are not only crowd pleasers, but they're actually healthy for you, and so much more. Now, with small and consistent changes, you can defy aging while living a happier, healthier, and more heart-filled life. I'm so excited to show you it's possible with the right strategies that are so simple to adopt. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Melissa M.A.D.E Show. So today I want to talk to you about the word commitment. Does that scare you? Commitment means different things to different people. And I just want to talk to you about kind of my own personal journey of commitment in ways that I've committed and how I've been able to be pretty darn successful in both business and in my personal life because of the commitments that I make. I noticed here, I don't know, I just didn't start the beginning of the year off with a bang. I was one of those anti New Year's resolutioners. And I just was like, I'm not going to make any kind of New Year's resolution. I'm just going to continue, to just coast on by. And that was fine until about February. I was like, oh, okay, Melissa, you're kind of getting into a quote unquote lazy pattern of just not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone enough to become a better version of yourself, which is something I'm always striving to be. Never looking for perfection, but always looking to be just a little bit better than I was the day before. And so I told myself this in February, but along comes March and I'm like, okay, Melissa, this is serious. So in March, I did make some shifts and get back to a little bit cleaner eating and being a little bit more diligent about my exercise and stuff like that. But that's about as far as I got. And that honestly was probably making me more stay where I was at instead of elevating in any level of my life. So it wasn't until this is recorded in July, the end of July, that here I am, over half of the year is gone. And I was like, okay, Melissa, this is not like you to not be committed to something big, and when I say big, I'm not talking huge. Like, let me just use business as an example. So, I am a Beachbody coach and I'm the only coach that's been able to hold what's called a top 10 or an elite 10 spot for 10 years. And that was every year, that was a really big goal or achievement or commitment I made to myself. This year, I'm over it. I always joke that I'm Jordan, 10 and out, which I don't really watch basketball, but people used to tell me, you're like Jordan. And I think, did he win like 10 championships or something? You'll have to let me know in the notes if that's true or not. But, I see myself as Jordan. I've proven my point. I'm good at this business and, onward and upward, as some of my mentors have said in the past. So I'm not talking about a big commitment like that, but just something that keeps me in line with myself. You know what I'm talking about, right? I really think we don't have much hesitation in committing to something for or with someone else. I mean, have you ever at work, they have one of those Biggest Loser competitions or something, and you have that public accountability, and you usually do it with a team or a group or somebody else. And so you don't want to let that other person down. And so those kind of commitments can be great. And they can, kind of propel you into making more long-term commitments or continue on that commitment or even bigger ones. What I've noticed is that when we do it for somebody else or with somebody else, the really deep-seated reason to make something important in your life a commitment isn't there. But listen to me, if it takes you doing this, I tell this to my assistant all the time, Miss Kelly, that if it takes her committing for me and doing something for me in the beginning until it just kind of sinks in and she's like, you know what, I really want to do this for me, then by all means, start off by doing something else for someone else if it gets the ball rolling. But eventually there's got to be a moment where you're like, this is for me. I want to commit to this. I want to do this. I want to finish this. I want to stick with this for me. It is the greatest sense of self-love and self-care that you can have, is to create commitments to yourself that you keep. So that being said, if you watch my stories, I have really committed to, number one, drinking green tea every day. I drink my peak green tea, and I get messages all the time, does the green tea matter? Yeah, it really does. There are such important components in green tea that are so stinking good for you. It's undeniable. But, here we go. Miss Anti-Big Food Company, Lipton, Lipton green tea probably isn't that good a quality compared to, a company like Peak Tea. And yes, you could probably buy 10 tea bags versus a serving of Peak Tea. It's cheaper because it's cheaper to make, but I have stuck to my green tea. And at first it was very hard for me. But I was committed, but it was very hard for me because I just didn't like the taste of it. And then bless my followers on Instagram. I'm like, how do you make your green tea so that you like it? And one of you said, I got the honey and the stevia. And I'm like, no, I don't want to put added sugar in there. A freaking squeeze of lemon. Holy cow, night and day difference. I look forward to having that cup of hot green tea a day with that little tiny squeeze of lemon in it. And now I'm actually looking forward to, I could probably drink it 2 or 3 times a day instead of having to talk myself into once a day. But anyway, that was commitment number 1 that I made not too long ago. I bought myself a kettle. The kettle sits like right next to my sink. It's a beautiful kettle and it's made for tea. It's called, oh shoot, I should have looked at the name. I think COSORI. I got it on Amazon. It was really inexpensive. And it's really cool. It has all of these settings for the different types of tea: black tea, green tea, herbal tea, oolong tea. I mean, it's just got settings for each one because who knew? Different teas do better steeped under different temperatures. And even for pour over coffee, if you like pour over coffee, they've got the temperature to have, which was like 212, I think, or 220 or something like that, to have the perfect cup of pour over coffee. That kettle makes all the difference in the world. It's in my face. It makes it easy. I feel like it's more of a treat instead of just, putting a cup of water in the microwave and heating it up. There's just nothing magical about that, but this kettle makes it magical. So that was number 1. Number 2 was to go for a walk. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is really silly, but I was getting my hair done today. So if you're looking at my reel or Instagram, my hair got did. It's not back in a ponytail. Taylor, my daughter, who has really taken up the career of modeling and has been signed by companies, and she has met other females that are models as well. And she has this one friend, and I can't remember if her name is Bella. I think it's Bella, but she's a friend that she's gotten really close to. And Bella has had a weight loss, and she not just lost the weight, but she got herself pretty model thin, super healthy, but model thin. And she was, if you look at these before pictures, she wasn't like, you would never think, oh my gosh, she's the kind of person that can get model thin. And so Taylor asked her friend, she's like, what did you do to lose the weight? And of course, she probably ate a little less and she watched what she ate. But one of the things that she adopted was walking. And so my daughter was like, that's easy enough. It's good for you. It's not that hard to do. So Taylor started, these signature walks that she calls hot girl walk, because, here in Texas right now, it's been over 100 degrees forever and with no end in sight. So she calls them her hot girl walks, where she's walking, but it's really hot. And that just kind of internalized with me. Not that I'm necessarily trying to be model thin, but I know how good walking is for me. And I think it's a great way for anybody that wants to lose weight or keep weight off to incorporate walking. So I committed to myself to walk every day because I do have my Oura ring, and it gives you an activity goal every single day based on how your body did the day before, how you slept, how you recovered, how much activity you got the day before. So it's a really great tool to see, my activity goal, some days it's 300. If I'm not feeling well, it'll drop down to 100 or 200. And then some days it's up to 400, 450. When it's really up there, I'm like, I need to take a nice long walk. And so I've committed to walking, and I got up this morning really early, naturally, and I was out the door and walking by 6:30 in the morning. And in these hot summer days, it felt so nice. There was a breeze, the sun was coming up. It was really quiet. Which, now that I'm into it, I'm just like, why haven't I been doing this longer? It's a great commitment to myself. One thing we all need to be taking care of is our gut. Now, it impacts literally everything: your weight, your mood, your skin, your digestion. And because your gut houses up to 80% of your immune system, a healthy gut is truly the gateway to feeling your best. Unfortunately, our bodies are being attacked every single day and wreaking havoc on our gut health, stress, toxins, and even just one day of eating a Western style diet. Now, thankfully, with Just Thrive Probiotic, it's now easier than ever to give your gut what it needs to thrive. Just Thrive's breakthrough award-winning probiotic is the only product on the market that's proven to turn your gut into an antioxidant factory. Do you hear that? Yes, this probiotic actually produces antioxidants right in the gut, meaning you get maximum immune, digestive, and total body health support. Wow. It's vegan friendly, gluten-free, dairy-free, histamine-free, and non-GMO. And the best part, you can open the capsule and sprinkle it onto any food or drink. It's the perfect recipe companion to keep your whole family healthy. Now, Just Thrive has been loudly endorsed by some of the biggest health luminaries on the planet, including me. And you can learn more by listening to the podcast that I did with Tina Anderson just a little while ago. This company is changing the game in the supplement industry. No fake marketing, no claims, just real, scientifically proven results. That's important to me. So if you're looking for the best in gut health and immune support, choose the clinically proven, award-winning power of Just Thrive Probiotic. And guess what? You can save 15% off site-wide when you go to justthrivehealth.com and use the promo code Melissa M.A.D.E at checkout. And then the third one is I invested a lot of money into red light therapy panels. I do believe that they are incredibly good for you as far as your skin goes, but also on the cellular level. I would encourage you to look up some of the studies and some of the research that's done on, really good true red light therapy. It's great for you. So that's the third thing that I committed to, was to stand in front of those things, because I got lazy about it. And I would do it when I would remember, instead of saying, no, Melissa, this was an investment. It's good for you. Get in front of those red lights. It's 20 minutes a day. You can do this. So I make it a double whammy. I listen to a podcast or I watch a YouTube video while I'm in front of those, and when I'm on my walk, and I continue to educate myself. So it's just good all the way around. So far, it's just 3 commitments. And I know how good they are for me. I feel amazing doing them, but I am committed to myself. Nobody is holding me accountable to the walk, to the tea, to the red light. Nobody knows whether I do it. Sometimes I post about it, sometimes I don't, but it's a commitment to myself. And I know some people struggle with creating those commitments to themselves. So I just have 3 really quick tips that I want to share with you on maybe helping you find a commitment or two to, shake your own hand and say, you know what, Melissa, insert name, I'm important to me. My well-being is important. I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. And I need to commit to myself to do just this thing. And it could be just drinking more water. It could be promising to turn off your electronics by 9 p.m. or getting to bed by 10 p.m. every night. It could be that you promise to have, a good quality source of protein and fat with every single meal that you have. It's your promise to, not snack between your meals, or to stop eating at 7 o'clock at night. So anything like that. But my first tip, which goes along with what all the things I just said, is don't overdo your commitments. Don't make too many. For goodness sakes, if you really struggle to stay committed to something that you want to do for yourself, that you want to make a habit, that you want to learn to enjoy, Start with one thing and give it time and really learn to adopt it. They say it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. I've heard, different schools of thought on whether or not that's true, but why not give yourself a couple of weeks of drinking the certain amount of water that you want to have in a day, or join me and have a cup of green tea every single day, or to take a 10, 15, 20-minute walk every single day, but start with one thing. When you start to compile these commitments, it seems daunting and it's a lot. And if one thing goes, then guess what? The next thing goes and the next thing goes. So don't make too many at once. I would say never do more than 3. But if you do struggle to make any sort of a commitment with yourself that you keep, start with 1. Okay. And the second one is, we talked about this too. You've got to treat this commitment like it's for the person that you love and respect the most in this world. And man, it was a toss up between my husband and my mom when I said that, and my kids, I guess. But if I'm going to say my mom because it almost tears me up. I love her so much, so much. And even as a kid, the reason that it's so silly, I never did drugs as a kid is because I didn't want to let my mom down. I drank alcohol, which was the difference. But I never touched a drug because I knew that if she found out, it would break her heart. You've got to have that same commitment to yourself. Do you really want to break your own heart? The commitment that you make has to be something that you really want. Okay. I mean, if it's something that somebody else is telling you should do, no, absolutely not. This is a commitment that you need because you want it so bad that you can't, it's constantly on your mind. But think about the person that you love the most. Think about your commitment as being something that is important to the most important person in your life. And that should be you. Okay. So don't make too many commitments. When you make that commitment and you're making it to yourself, think about the person that you love the most and don't want to let down the most. And switch that thinking to, even more than that person, I should care. I should care if I break that commitment to me as much as I care about breaking that commitment to the person that I love and respect so much. Okay. And the third one is don't make them impulsively. Okay. So I don't want you going through Instagram and you see this, this fit model. It's a silly one, but I'm going to go with it. Those eye patches, which I've fallen quote unquote victim to. I think they're great. They're fun to put on and they feel great. So there's nothing wrong with that. But, and it's a very silly example, but say you see this fit influencer that puts those under eye pads on, you make that commitment to put those on, every single day. Why? Is there really a deep seated reason why you want these eye patches, or are you just doing it because you saw somebody else do it and you're like, oh, they're doing it, so I'm gonna do it too? That's really not a good reason to make a deep commitment to yourself, which will make it so that you don't really have that high honor of commitment to yourself like you would somebody else. And it might make it so you have too many commitments going on. And there you are, like we talked about in the beginning, making too many commitments and just being overwhelmed and deciding that to throw it all in the towel because you're sick of constantly trying to commit to yourself. Keep your commitments big in your heart, but small in size. 1, 2, maybe 3, if they're not, big, huge, overwhelming commitments. Number 2, do it for you like you would do it for the person that in your mind walks on water. Okay. Find a way, find a mantra, put it on your phone, put it on your mirror, some sort of quote that reminds you to love yourself, and that the highest regard for self-love and self-care is to make commitments that are good for you and to stick to them because they are good for you, nobody else, you. And then last but not least, really put some thought into these commitments. Don't think, oh my gosh, this girl's wearing a waist trainer when she works out. I'm going to buy a waist trainer and I'm going to wear it every time I work out because she does. That didn't come from, you really wanting to do something that makes a big difference in your life. That's an outside influence. And I don't think those kind of commitments should take any kind of precedence over ones that you have that are just, they're so far deep in there that every waking moment when there's just a second that you get to just think, that's the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. So there you go. my thoughts on commitment here when this comes out. Hopefully you can watch my social media and you still see I'm walking, you still see I'm drinking that dang green tea. And you also see that I am staying in front of that red light. So far, I haven't missed the tea. I haven't missed the walk, but I did miss my red light therapy, honestly, because I just totally forgot. So those things are behind my bathroom mirror or my bathroom door, and I just totally forgot. So, and this is my commitment to you right now is I need to put a reminder in my phone. Don't go to bed until you stand in front of those lights, because every once in a while that might happen. Or I shouldn't say just lights, my 3 commitments, I have a timer on my phone that says, did you get your 3 commitments done? Because I can do all 3 in the evening. If for some reason I forgot or life got busy, all 3 of those can be done within an hour. So I could do that. Anyway, I would love to know what commitments you're making to yourself below. Let me know. And gosh, if there's anything I can do to help support you on that journey, I hope you know that I'm here for you, because I want you to wake up feeling prepared, knowing those commitments. And I want you to go to bed feeling proud because you stick with those commitments each and every day. There it is again. You guys have a great day. Wow, we've reached the end. But before I leave you, I'd love to hear from you. After all, it's not every day that someone reaches out and asks for your opinion. And to me, your opinion does matter. So please share this episode with anyone that you think needs to hear this message. And remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. My name is Melissa McAllister. And until next time, thank you for being your own health advocate.